agents of the unexplained. Grab your gear and let's journey into the mysterious world of cryptids and the paranormal. Get ready for an adventure into the unknown. Listen carefully as you're guided through the unexplained and cryptid phenomena that challenge our understanding of reality. Here is your host, Bill Rigby.
Hey everybody, I'm really excited. I got the sincerely great researcher here tonight, and I'm all excited about it. And she told me I'm not allowed to say one thing good about her, so I won't. So don't worry. Let's bring her in. Hi, Marie.
Hey, Bill. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
You know, and like I told you earlier, and I've been telling everyone, I'm super excited about this because I got nothing but love and respect for you.
No, thank you. So do you're a terrific guy, great researcher.
But no, seriously, you're out there so much,
Mm-hmm.
and you really are. And ladies do not get the credit they should.
Correct.
You know, and I do promote the women as much as possible.
Good.
You know,
thank you.
I'm not a male chauvinist. I do try to prove that, hey, women are just as good as the men, which you are in your researches. Yeah.
I mean, I'm out every single weekend for the past 5.5 years. I've probably been out than a lot of men have.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my point.
Yeah.
But, you know, with this last hurricane that came through, you were somewhat lucky on the damages on your place.
Yes. Yes.
What do you think happened to the skunk ape down there?
I don't know. I asked that in my group, you know, because sometimes I'll post stuff and I'll just say, you know, what do you think happens, you know, during a hurricane? You know, do they evacuate to another area in Florida that, you know, maybe drier or something, or do they hunker down? Do they have a place in where they're at?
It's all lowlands there. Where could it be safe for them?
Well, I mean, there's when trees fall over, there's giant root balls, and it's at times it creates like little caves and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So of course water would get in there, but at least they would be protected. And we do find those kind of fallen trees in the roots. It does form like a cave. So, you know, and there are some caves in Florida. So they could definitely.
In the northern part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Central and northern. Yes.
Now, wait a minute. I've been in the central part. That still seems pretty damn low. Get a cave in there.
Yeah, I know. I think it's around like Brooksville or Crystal River or something like that. There are some caves, but they're a little more northern, not necessarily around me in Tampa, the Tampa area.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I used to live in Crystal Springs.
Oh, okay.
And I kind of miss that down there. You know, Florida's a different type of life.
Oh, yeah.
It really is. And I got a friend of mine I haven't heard from him down in the Port Charlotte area.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard from him since the storm.
Yeah.
And he did send me a message before the storm saying, well, archery's about over. I haven't seen the skunk ape yet. I start laughing. I says, all right, Mike.
I mean, you know, like I said, I asked that question of the group.
Yeah.
And so, I guess storms like that do make animals move a lot.
Right.
You know, they're trying to get out of the way. They don't know what's going on. They could probably sense it, the barometric pressure.
Yes.
You know, but we don't know. I mean, probably down south, like in the Everglades, they probably get up in trees. Or maybe they crawl into some kind of gator hole or something, which is another type of little, you know, like a little cave
Yep.
that they could get into. So we don't know, but we did. We were down there this weekend, me and my team, and we went driving around at night looking to see, just seeing if something would cross the road in front of us. And we were looking for Burmese pythons too. So
Right.
hmm
And which you do have a lot of them down there.
yeah, it's just very wet, obviously, because of all the storms. Storm Debbie dumped a lot of water here, and then this weekend, we had the hurricane and all the houses. I'm two houses from the river, so
Right.
my house is a little higher than everybody else. So my neighborhood floods like my house is on an island kind of
You're
thing,
right.
like a moat
Yeah.
around. And so there's some houses behind me they probably had at least 8 feet of water, and
Oh, wow.
they lost a bunch of furniture and stuff. It's just it's a mess. It's just horrible.
Yeah, it is. I feel sorry for Western Virginia, Eastern Tennessee area. Oh my God, I feel so bad for the people and the wildlife.
North Carolina, oof,
Yeah,
bad.
bad. And those dams breaking, which is caused most of the damages.
Right, right.
There was a lot of water coming down on them before the dams broke. So,
Terrible.
yep. I watched a lot of videos on that, and it's like I'm crying for these people.
Oh, I know. I don't want to experience what happened here.
Right.
I can't imagine being in North Carolina,
Right.
like Bill or whatever.
Exactly. I was in Florida when Charlie came through, Francis, all four of them. Well, actually, we drove down through Charlie to get down there.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and
those were bad.
those were bad.
Those are just category 3s.
Yeah,
And they wiped out Port Charlotte.
yeah, they did.
It flattened it. So
A friend of mine had a mechanical type carnival ride. It's called a gyroscope. Sitting down at a car dealership down there. It got sandblasted. All the paint was gone. I had to replace the bearings because the sand got inside the bearings.
wow.
It was all humans spinning themselves basically in it. And we went down and got it and brought it back up to his place near Tampa. And I'm seeing all this devastation on a category 3.
Yeah.
And that was a category 4 that hit this last week. It's like, holy cow. And that's,
I evacuated.
yes.
I don't want to be here for a 3. Because at any moment it can make a sharp right-hand turn.
Yep. In a heartbeat.
Yep.
And what they predict where it was supposed to go, it didn't go anyhow when it got coming up north.
Right.
It was supposed to already be along the coastline.
Right.
And it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So we lost all that, all the wildlife, which includes the Bigfoot. And I believe down in those mountains there are caves where they could have sheltered. But Florida,
right.
But I understand what you're saying about the tree root balls, because there are some huge trees down there.
Oh yes, yeah. There's some root balls that are taller than I am. That are like 8 feet, 9 feet tall. It's just crazy how big these trees are. They get knocked over by wind. It's like, how? I mean, because they have shallow root systems or whatever, but it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Something else about you. You're paranormal.
Yes. Yes, I started out being a paranormal investigator over 30 years ago. Yep. So it started out with ghost hunting, and then it went to aliens and UFOs. And then I had some friends who were interested in Bigfoot. I was like, I don't know about that. And but I went out anyway with them, and we went camping in the Ocala National Forest one night on in January 6 years ago. It was the coldest night of the year. We're all camping. There's like 15 of us. And sure enough, 1:30 in the morning, I'm standing off to the side and heard this loud, lengthy vocalization, which sounds like the Ohio Bigfoot call.
Yeah.
It was just incredible. We just looked at each other like deer with a headlight. You're like, oh my God, are you kidding me? It's just one call. That's it. But it wasn't that far away. It was maybe quarter mile, half a mile away. I mean, it was, you could just hear it, but I knew the direction where it came from, and it's in the direction where I like to research when I'm there. So, yeah. And that was exciting. So that was the point when I was like, I want to be the one to prove they exist in Florida. So that's what I've been doing. So I've been out every single weekend for 5.5 years.
And I can honestly say, you have been out, and like I said, I've been following you, and you remind me of Les Odell.
Oh, thanks. You remind me of
not the size, but the type of research.
Really?
You're out there. You're researching.
Right.
You're in the whole 9 yards. And Les is out a hell of a lot. I call him the ultimate researcher because the way he does his research.
Right.
And I said he put me in the hospital too this past year, but that's a different story.
I mean, I wish we had better weather. That's, where I could be out. Like in the wintertime, I'm out more than once a weekend. I'm usually out Saturday and Sunday when the weather is good. So I'm out even more when it's cooler.
Right. And it does get cold down in your area.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. I know for a fact.
Yeah, the humid, wet cold. That's the worst kind of cold there is.
Yep. And when they see people in Florida wearing coats, they say, oh, yeah, it must be 40 degrees. No, it gets down in the 30s, and it's a wet cold.
It's a wet cold.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have said that to many of people, and I hate the cold. I'll tell you the truth, I hate it. And first time down there, we were 13 years old. My dad rented a pop-up camper and took all of us down to Tampa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we got to visit Tampa Zoo.
Yep.
I had George the monkey throw crap at me.
It was an honor. Okay.
Yeah. But the very first night there, my mom took our blankets and our coats and all that stuff to get washed because we're in Florida. It's 70 plus degrees. It went down to 35. She didn't dry the stuff because she was hanging it outside, and that was crazy because we all froze. The next day, went and found us jackets.
Yeah, because we have very dramatic temperature changes.
Yes.
It'll be 90 one day, the next day it'll be 30, or it's just like crazy fluctuations.
Well, that's in a day's time. That's not Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, in a couple hours it'll change. You wake up to winter, and then it's spring by 10 o'clock, by 2 o'clock it's summer, and then fall at 4, and winter again at 9.
Right.
Crazy weathers.
Crazy.
But I always say that we get all 4 seasons in one day. And we get some, it's kind of funny because the year I had my sighting, It was March, and it was warm, but it was chilly out. And me and Brenda Sproul went researching up around the Shenango Reservoir. When we got there, we went along the wood line and went up in and walked all around up there. When we come back out at a distance farther down, I says, I want to walk along the shoreline, see if I see anything. We found a trackway.
Mm-hmm.
And that went over 100 yards. And that was before my sighting that year.
Mm-hmm.
And talk about adrenaline rush.
Oh yeah.
It's in my.
I found the trackway too. I found the trackway too. I know.
I recorded it walking along the side of it, showing how my footprint was going as deep.
That's cool.
My spread couldn't go as far because it had a 5-foot spread.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to cast it. Well, I screwed up the casting, went to pull it out too soon because it was closer to the water. There was a lot more moisture underneath, so it wasn't drying right. I got to bring it up, and it just went all apart. I was ready to cry.
Oh, God.
Learning a lesson.
Casting's tricky, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Casting is tricky.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you find your trackway at?
When we found it in February this year at Jennings State Forest, which is southwest of Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And we were going there. I didn't know anything about the place, but a friend of ours came down. And normally when he comes down, we go camping with him for a long weekend. So he picked a place. We went. Like I said, I knew nothing about the place.
Right.
But I really liked the terrain. It was a nice mixture of all kinds of stuff. And I was like, oh, this is a pretty nice place. But so we got there on a Friday. And right when we got there, it rained real lightly, just briefly. And we were just hanging around the campsite. And this is a state forest. And in Florida, you are not allowed to leave your campsite after sunset. Even though you're camping in the forest, you are not allowed to leave your campsite.
What's the reasoning?
I don't know.
Gators?
I don't know, because they don't do that in the counties and they don't do that in the national forest. I don't get it. But we met a couple security people that were driving around, and they're like, yeah, we'll take you out. It's like, oh, okay. So they took us out. It was 11 o'clock at night. They took us to this area near the power lines, stopped at this intersection where there was a service road, service road going to the right and left. And so they just parked right there. And so we all got out and we're just kind of talking, hanging around. And, I don't want to stand there and talk. I want to go look around a little bit, right? Yep. So I looked to the right. The right was very open and just bleh. But to the left, it looked creepy. It was very dark, very heavy canopy of trees. So it looked like a tunnel. So it was just blackness. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's where I want to go. Right?
I knew you was going to say that.
Miss Paranormal wants to go down the black, dark, creepy tunnel area road, right? So I had my little tiny flashlight, and we weren't really prepared to go researching because we weren't supposed to be there to begin with.
Right.
So I start walking down the left side, this road, and Ruby starts following me, but Mike and Chris, they were still talking over there. And I start noticing some footprints. And I'm like, this looks like a print, but it's sugar sand. We have that sugar sand. You know what it's like? It's like beach sand with a little bit of clay mixed in there. Yeah. So it deteriorates, caves in on itself kind of thing, because it's just loose, like beach sand. Yes. And so, but remember, I said it rained lightly.
Yeah.
So it was a little more pressed down and it was very pitted. And I'm like, God, this looks like a print. And then I'm looking, see if there's another one. I find another one. And I'm like, ooh. So I call everybody over. I said, what do you think about this? And they're like, oh, that looks like a print. I said, okay, it does. Now, again, it's dark. We're not supposed to be out there. So we stuck 2 sticks in the ground where the 2 prints were. And so we were like, okay, we'll come back in the morning when it's daytime and we'll take a look at it and we'll do our stuff. So, but we did measure the stride between the 2 prints. The stride was 54 inches.
Ooh, yes.
And the prints were 16 inches long.
Oh, wow.
So we went back to the camp, right? So Ruby and I were car camping at one campsite. Mike, Chris, and Mike's son were at the next campsite. They were in their tents. And so Ruby's in her car. You know, she gets in her car to sleep. I get in my car to sleep. And on the first night, wherever I go, I cannot sleep. So I'm just laying there in the back of my car, and I'm just like with the blankets, and I'm just laying there trying to sleep, can't sleep. At about 4, 5 in the morning, I start hearing something heavy, bipedal, walking, boom, 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 walking alongside my car, the driver's side. It just kept going back and forth, back and forth. I had shades on my windows, so I couldn't see. It was pitch black anyway. But I hear this boom, boom. I'm like, what the heck? I'm thinking it's Ruby. I'm like, why did Ruby get up early? Why is she walking so heavy? You know, why? It doesn't make sense. I'm not thinking it's a Bigfoot. I'm skeptical, right? I'm trying to come up with other explanations for things. Right? So then it bumps my car. It pushed the back of my car where I was sleeping. It just, and I was like, oh, what was that? Again, I'm still thinking it's Ruby. I'm like, why is Ruby walking? Why is she bumping into my car? She's 20 feet away. Why? And and then the footsteps stopped. Didn't hear them anymore. After it pushed my car, that was it. And so in the morning, I get up. I go down to Mike and Chris's campsite. They have some breakfast. Mike comes out of his tent. And he's like, man, we didn't sleep at all last night, me and my son. We heard something heavy bipedal walking around our tents. And I was like, oh my God. Because so they had something walking around their tent and something walking along my car and bumped my car. So what? Did it see me out there when I found the prints?
Possibility.
Follow us back to the campsite?
Possibility. Or could have been another one.
I'm the one who found the prints. I'm the one who got my car pushed. So
it could have been another one.
It could be.
Yeah, but like you said, it was, you're the one that found the prints. You're the one.
I'm the one who got my car pushed. Yeah.
Yes.
So don't know, coincidence, but it was interesting. So, you know, we got cleaned up. We went back to where the prints were to look at this in the daytime. And sure enough, they were there. We followed this trackway of prints in this down this forest road. They went for a quarter mile. So, and it ended at a very deep creek that we could not cross. But most likely it probably continued, right?
Yes.
But that's as far as we could go. And it was a quarter mile. That's quite a ways.
Yes.
So.
And it probably didn't take it long to get a quarter mile with the spread it has.
Right.
And Bell, Southwest PA, said That's a crazy rule they have at the state parks.
Yeah, it is. It's stupid. It's
Yeah.
absolutely stupid.
Don't-
I think,
that makes sense.
probably people get lost out there and they're tired of getting rescuers to go out there, or they don't have rescuers. I don't know, but it's stupid. It's a really stupid rule, especially since you're paying to camp in the state forest, but yet you're not allowed to go out after sunset. And they will fine you.
Yeah. The state of Florida don't care. They'll
Yep.
fine you for anything, any rule violation.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's crazy.
Yeah.
And,
So we took pictures. We measured it. We took pictures. We took videos. We did 3D scans of them. Video. What else did we do? We did one more thing. Well, we measured everything. I can't remember what the other thing was, but yeah, we tried to document. Oh, we have a app that one of our old team members created. It's like a database where we can capture our own information about things we find, so that we can see if there's trends,
right.
throughout the years. Is there always something in this particular area in February? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we have our own little database. And so
any good researcher will do that.
Yeah.
So they can compare notes.
Yes.
And-
Yes. It's kind of like our own little BFRO database, right? It's all our stuff we found in the areas that we found them in, and we can open it up. We can see it on a map. We can see exactly where everything took place at any time. And it's just a great little app. I'm so grateful to have that. So we capture the GPS of the prints too. So,
oh yeah, that's smart.
Then I decided a couple months later to report it to the BFRO. And so I wrote up the report, submitted it. And then like a month later, I had a researcher, investigator, reach out to me from the BFRO to interview me, to discuss the details of the case. I sent him pictures, told him exactly where to go. And he's a physician. He does Bigfooting squatching on the side with the BFRO, but he's a physician. So he went out there and he found the road, he found the location, he found everything, and he measured it, and it was exactly a quarter of a mile, just like what we had estimated. So that was exciting. So everything matched up. And so he thought it was a legit report, So he submitted it to Matt Moneymaker, however they do it. And Matt posted it like a month ago. He shared it on the BFRO page.
Yeah. See how long later he shared it?
Yeah. Yeah. So that was good. I was happy. I was I was surprised. I didn't know if he would share it, but he did.
Yeah.
He did share it. And he said he knows more about that area than I do. And he said that is what that area is known for, that Bigfoots like to go to the campgrounds and mess with people. He says that's a common thing about that area. And I didn't know that. So that was cool to hear.
That's cool to find out.
Yeah,
very cool.
It was.
That's finding the tracks when you're not supposed to be out, but security had you out, is awesome.
Right.
And then have everything validated by,
right. Yep.
The validation makes you feel great.
Yes.
No matter what. Like when Mike Bennett said he saw the same one I saw, but it was walking away. So, I have my validation right there.
Yeah.
And he keeps agitating me about it. He says it just wanted to reach out and smack me and stuff like that.
Right.
I went, probably, but
Right.
validation means everything.
But at the time, when it happens, when all of that happens, you're like, you're not believing it, at least for me, it's
Yeah.
like, is this really what I'm seeing here? Is this legit? I mean, it's just, I'm doubting myself. Like I said, I thought it was Ruby walking around my car, but no, I was just, I don't know. I was just kind of shocked. It was hard for me to believe.
Yeah. And I still have a hard time at different times with my own sighting.
Right.
You're
you're doubting yourself.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you're thinking, did I really see that?
Right. Yeah.
And then I think harder and what, and yeah, I did see that. Oh, wow. What's this? Now, Ohio Bigfoot researchers are out there. And that's why Tim, and not his wife, Renee. Renee's another great researcher, too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Tim has seen 5 or 7 of them.
Wow.
Yeah. In the Salt Fork area.
Yeah. I mean, that's a hot spot. That's for sure.
Yes, it is. And it blows your mind at the time it happens. And
Absolutely.
he's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, Tim. And the thing is, Tim and Renee took my friend Debbie out that was with us that didn't get to see it.
Right.
When I did, because she's watching where the stones or nuts were coming from. They had her at Hosack Cave area.
Mm-hmm.
And she saw one. She got a picture and a video.
Wow.
And she took it. She gets back to camp. She's all fired up. She tells me, she goes up and tells this other person, and they go, you need to go back tomorrow and take another picture of the same area.
Mm-hmm. Same time, same area.
Tim and Renee was with her. They saw it too. Mm-hmm. I think another woman was with them, if I remember right. And they all saw it. So why does she need to go back and get this picture? If she was by herself, yes.
Right.
But she even got a video.
Right.
Got it walking away. So,
yeah. Yeah. What's the point of that?
Yes. She's just trying to act like she knew it all.
Mm-hmm.
A bad person. I ain't mentioned that. Yeah, there was 5 of them there, Tim's saying. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Deb had her validation. And I told her, I says, don't let her get to you, because Deb felt like crying. Because she said that. I says, don't let her get to you.
No.
You got your picture. You got your little video.
She had her experience. She got it all. And
yeah. And me and her's been out together a lot. We found tracks. We found structures and all kind of stuff together. Mm-hmm. And I just felt bad I wasn't with her when she had her first experience.
Right.
Of seeing it. But she got it. And it's... I hate when people try to act better at you and try to, that just gets me.
Well, yeah, it happens all the time.
Yes. And Debbie's a diehard researcher. When she gets out there, man, I can't keep up with her. Mm-hmm. She's this way, that way. And even though we're together, she's away from me looking at stuff. And so I just said, go your way, I'll go mine, and we'll meet in the middle.
Right.
And both of us found some great evidence out there. And we had a good time doing it, too.
I bet. It's always fun.
Yes.
It's always fun.
It's always fun being out in the woods.
Yes.
And
for me, it's the swamps. Because we're swampy here, and I love the swamp, though. I mean, it's beautiful. It's creepy. It's beautiful. It's very difficult.
Yes.
Extremely difficult.
Yes.
So I don't know. I just like it.
And, I love my research areas. I have several. And it's to get in there, I get real relaxed.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I really do. And that's the thing.
It's good for the soul.
It-
I require it. I have to be out in nature, as much as possible on the weekends. I have to go out.
and that's the thing. Like this summer, I was sick all summer, you know,
Right.
and finally I had to listen to the doctors and just plant my butt at home
Right.
and rest up and get better. And so I lost all summer researching,
Hmm.
and I hated it.
Oh, I'm sure.
I hated not getting into the woods. I hated just the idea. I got to stay home.
Hmm.
And
No, that would be so difficult for me.
yeah, but in June I almost died. So I started feeling better. Then in July I got sick again and ended up back in the hospital. And I said, well, it's time to listen to these doctors because I'm doing something wrong, even though I feel better. And the last 2 weekends, I've been at 2 different events. One I spoke at, the first one I didn't, but I spoke at this one in Johnstown over the weekend, and I felt great.
Good.
And I'm back out there at 95%, I'll say.
Right.
And that's the thing. And and Tim from the High Bigfoot Researchers, he's down right now. He had a little bit of surgery, and I do know about that.
Oh,
And but him and Renee will be back at it again.
hmm.
And they, when I first met them, I right away, instant like, and
Right.
they came to my camp out I had, and and we had it at the group camp area at Saltport, and they came, and I tell the people, next year the price goes up. It was $5 a person per night.
Right.
I said, that's all you got to pay because I'm not paying for you.
Right.
I bring your own food, your own gear.
Right.
If you want to research. If you don't, just camp.
Right.
And we had 68 people show up.
It's great.
And it's like, holy cow. 68
awesome.
people.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And we actually had to split them up in teams on the people that were going out.
Yes.
I said, everyone's running, because the first night everyone just kept running together.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not going to find nothing.
No.
So the next night I split them up in teams. I made sure experienced researchers were with each team.
Correct.
And
That's what we do. We do
Yeah.
this thing.
Yeah.
We have an outing. We have a team member with each group.
yeah, yeah, that's the way to do it. And like Tim says, there are great times at Saltport, and we did. We had a lot of great times, and everyone had a great time. This one family came, brought the son-in-law. The daughter stayed home. Brought the son-in-law. He just came camping. He didn't believe in Bigfoot.
Right.
Nothing about Bigfoot. But he listened to the stories a bunch of us had, and him and this other kid went down the one trail, and they found this print. They couldn't figure out what it was. So I sent this other researcher down with them that lives up in the Alleghenies.
Mm-hmm.
I sent him down with them. he comes back and says, I'm getting casting materials for these kids. He says, I'm not sure what it is, but here's a picture. Handprint.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I'm looking, I says, I'm not sure what it is.
Wow.
And so he got the casting material, went down, helped the kids cast it. Saying kids, he's 20, 21, 22.
Mm-hmm.
And they casted it. He says, we'll come back tomorrow and get it. Leave it sit for a day. They come back up and said they cast it, and they're all excited. I says, all right, well, get it tomorrow and show me, you know?
Right.
And they still wasn't sure what it was. The next day, they had it, and they're cleaning it up. When I walked over and I'm looking, I went, son of a bitch. And they went, what? I went, knuckle print, like it was trying to get up, use its knuckle to force itself up.
Very good. Very good.
The kid researches now.
He's a believer. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a great find. That's a great find.
Yeah. Oh, my wife, all of us was out together with Tim, and my wife actually saw her first one. There too. That's all for it. And that was at the handicap area.
Wow.
Her and Barb Strock saw it with Tim. And it was walking along the wood line, and I was down below, but the way it was headed.
Mm-hmm.
I was down below near the wood line down there.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear my wife says, there's one coming at you. What was she yelling that for? Be quiet. I would have heard her walk up. Don't startle and make it go in the woods. I'm looking around now. I'm trying to figure out which way she's talking. And it's pitch black. I couldn't tell.
Right? Yeah.
And so I walk up straight up the middle because I did not want to run into it on either side. And that's when they told me it came down around the left side there and it's going down. And I missed it.
Mm.
But yeah, so, and she didn't believe in Bigfoot.
Oh.
Yeah, one of those, I don't believe.
Right.
But you believe I saw one. Yeah, but I didn't, so I don't think there's one out there.
Wow. So I know some people just can't deal with it, and they're just total denial.
Yeah,
Total denial.
Now she believes. And then she was all excited, but now she can't get out with the spinal stenosis. And so she's stuck at home a lot, and she hates it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever I've been like sick or recovering from something, I'll even jump in my car and go drive. Just drive around because I have to be out there, right?
Yeah.
You know? So if I'm not able to walk around, then I'm driving around. Like right now, it's so hot here and it's so flooded that you have like no options. You can't, if you try to go hiking, you're going to die of heat exhaustion. And everything's wet. You're not going to find prints. You're not going to find prints until stuff starts drying up.
Exactly.
So in the wintertime, when things start drying, then there's all kinds of mud, and that's where the fun is. So, but right now, everything's too wet. Everything's flooded. You can't go to your normal spots. So, we drive around and we just we scout new locations to check out. We go down these roads that we've never been on before just to look. Maybe something in front of us. Or, we did find a couple roads that were like, ooh, this is really nice. It's really thick and not an area that people normally go to. I would love to go there at night. Go walk down the road at night and in the green swamp. And there's some good spots. So that's what we're doing right now. But again, we're still out every single weekend doing scouting, if we can get out of the car and look down a dry path, we will. I have to wear a mosquito net because the mosquitoes are murder.
Oh yeah.
They're absolutely brutal. And because there's nothing worse than mosquitoes buzzing around you while you're trying to look at something. It just messes up your concentration.
Big time. Big
Because
time.
you're just like, you just want to scream because the mosquitoes are so miserable. But that's what we deal with in Florida. You know?
I deal with one stupid ass fly in this office.
Right? It just irritates you, right? You imagine 500 mosquitoes around you. They're like trying to bite my eyelids.
Saltport, the mosquitoes there at the group camp area because we got a swamp down over the hill.
Oh, really?
So
it's bad there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I had all kind of bug spray on me, and I go home, I feel like I'm crusted over. But I still have a good time there. Yeah. And I still don't know how they get through all that crust to leave those bites on me.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Tim, he don't usually hike. He might go to a spot and then he'll sit.
Oh, okay.
And I found out that's a very good thing to do.
Sure, if you're able to.
Yeah.
Can't do that here in Florida. So.
No. And I was at this one researcher's place, Corky, and at his research spot, he had a group of us there, and he made homemade pizza for all of us. And we sat around BSing. That's all we was going to do, is sit around and BS. But he took these little buckets about this big, filled them up with peanuts, and put a couple of glow sticks on each side of them, on the outside of them. Took them up, hang them in the trees. There was 5 buckets.
Okay.
Comes about 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, looking up and saying, did that just move? Looking. It moved again. I'm like, I seen things. It did it a third time. It says, hey guys, that bucket at the top's moving. Everyone jumped up and turned and looking. Jay Fouch got his thermal out and shining up there. You can actually see 2 of them sitting down, reaching in the bucket, eating it like it was popcorn in a movie theater.
Wow. So it was picked up on the thermal?
Yep.
Wow.
And
that's wonderful.
I took a picture of his thermal that the light just made a big glob of glare. And so I didn't get a good picture off the thermal. And Jay Fouch is another great researcher from Conshohocken, Ohio. And he posts a lot of pictures, and most of them looks, you're saying, I don't know. He doesn't care about posting the good ones.
Right.
You know how people are.
Yeah.
And, so, and I gave him recognition during my talk this past weekend, along with several others. And I said, they're the ones that are in the woods constantly.
Right.
And Jay goes as soon as he gets off work or before he goes to work. His research area, he calls the monkey farm.
Whatever works.
Yeah. So he's had a few people there with him that had some good experiences. Yeah. It's very interesting.
Yeah. It's good stuff. It's fun. I thoroughly love it. My team and I, we absolutely love it. We have a great time out there, and, we're very serious, even though we love each other. We get along. We laugh. You guys laugh. You make fun of each other. That's just what you do, right?
Yep.
But I absolutely love it. Love them. But we are serious researchers. Like I said, we're out. Whether I'm out or Mike's out or Ruby's out or Ruby and I are out, somebody is always out every weekend, and usually it's me. So.
My brother Sparky, Jim Sparks, love the man. He's a great researcher.
Yes.
How does Bigfoot behavior differ in Florida compared to the northern, like Ohio and PA?
Hard to say, but what I can, I'm a detail-oriented person, and I'm very artistic, creative. So when I'm out in the woods, things will pop out at me because it looks like it was made like a structure. It was made with some kind of artistic design to it. And I just look at it, and then you try to look around and you're trying to debunk it. You're kind of say, okay, where did this branch from? Did it come from this tree? Or, did it come in from another area 50 feet away and was dragged there or whatever? But one of the things is our terrain, our building materials. We don't have these sturdy, giant trees. Our trees are palmetto palms, palms, brittle oak trees, like live oaks, extremely brittle. We have some pines.
I was going to say you got oak trees, but
they're crap. They're live oak.
Yeah.
Very brittle. So, say a teepee structure, like in the West. I found, when I went to Utah just a month ago, we were out 5 hours. I found a print, and we found like 3 teepee structures and some other things. And these are big, these are like the size, they're like trees or big branches leaning up, whatever.
Right.
Down in Florida, I have found teepee structures that are 2 feet tall. Because that's what the building materials are. We have brittle little sticks. We don't have these big branches where they can make big structures. So our stuff is smaller in size, harder to find, much smaller, and it's made with these brittle sticks and stuff. So that little 2 feet tall teepee structure I found in Mayaca State Park. That's where there's been skunk ape sightings at. And it's mostly palmettos out there. There's some areas that have cypress and stuff like that. I was walking down this trail where there were palmetto palms, like 3 feet tall on both sides. And I'm just walking along. So there's no branches around.
Right.
And that's where I see the teepee structure. It's off the side near the palmetto palms. But there's nothing but little sticks around. So something made a little teepee structure with little sticks that were lying around, because there's no sticks with palmetto palms. So so our building materials make it difficult to find things because we just don't have these giant structures that you guys do.
Right.
I have found one lean-to structure in all my 5 years, and that was in a swamp, one of my favorite swamps outside of Tampa, and it was a definite lean-to. It looked like it just picked up all these sticks that are about 4 feet long, 5 feet long tops, and they just leaned them all up against a tree. I've only ever found one. I have found asterisk structures, and again, those are made with little thin sticks, 3 foot long, 4 foot long. And the first one I ever really noticed was next to a creek, and all the sticks were arranged on top of a cypress knee, and they were perfectly balanced. I could touch one end, and they just teetered on top of a cypress knee.
Oh, that's sweet.
That's sweet, right?
Yeah.
That's hard for a human to try
Yeah.
and
Yes.
assemble, right? And sure enough, I'm like, holy crap, look at this. It's amazing.
That's like different structures I find, and twist and breaks.
Hmm.
I look so hard to debunk them,
Right.
and a lot of them I do.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
but X's, I get a laugh at them. But when you find a 20-foot tree
Hmm.
with the root ball in the air, and
Right.
there's no hole in the ground where it came out of,
Right. Yeah.
how in the hell did that get there?
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly. The funnest, my favorite structure that I have found with Ruby is a square structure. You ever heard of a square structure?
I've seen squares laid out on the ground.
Yeah, no, square structure. And it's just 4 sticks. And they're just, overlapping each other like a square, perfect square. So Ruby and I were out in the swamp and we found it. And we're like, okay, this is really weird. If this is natural, this is a heck of a coincidence that it makes this perfect square. And it was last, I think it was like December or something like that, a year ago, like over a year ago, saw it.
Okay.
And then summertime comes, it floods, the swamp floods, and the square disappeared. The water took the sticks with it, right? As the water came in, and the water goes out, right? So this past winter, Ruby and I are out there again, and there's another one. There's another square structure. But guess what? Exact same spot, Bill. Exact same trees. I didn't notice that until I got home and I'm looking at the pictures. I took a whole bunch of pictures from different angles to look at it. And I compared it to the one from over a year ago. And I'm like, oh my God. This square structure is in the exact same place. Exact.
And your heart's going.
Yes. I'm like, holy crap. That is the craziest thing. I mean, there's tons of cypress trees, right? You know, Florida. You've been out there before. You've seen the cypress trees. There's thousands of them, thousands upon thousands of cypress trees. So what are the odds that a square structure, again, 4 sticks, just overlapping each other, perfect square, in the exact same spot over a year later?
That is an ain't coincidence.
That's really
I don't buy in coincidence on stuff like that.
No, that is just crazy. And I'm like, I don't know what to think about this because I don't know what the purpose of this is. If that's a human doing it, wow, they got some really good I mean, I'm out there all the time in this swamp and I'm like, now where was that again? I mean, there's no way I could like figure out which exact trees to put the square structure if it was made by a human.
Yep.
And I didn't know it until I compared the pictures at home. And I'm like, wait, that's the same tree. That's the same cypress knee. Yes. These are the same 2 trees. Exactly.
That's the thing. And you're looking at it saying, wow, how did that happen? Like our square structures I seen are laid on the ground. Mm-hmm. Like a tree was blown over.
Right.
But why would a tree be blown over in a square?
Right. Exactly.
Tree.
Right.
And
but this
not
is
just one, there were several of them.
Yeah, this is propped up between 2 trees.
Those are up. And this one is laid down. Yeah. And it's out at the reservoir we research, Sparky researches. And And I'm still trying to figure out why they did that one.
Mm-hmm.
But and what you're upright, that's impressive. That's impressive.
So we can't wait till the winter time when we can get out there when the water starts receding and stuff. And we're going to see if it's there again, see if they rebuilt it.
Yeah.
This one swamp, we have found 3 footprints out there, the 2 square structures, the 1 lean-to structure. Have also another weird thing I have found out there are like these 2-foot long little sticks that are very branchy, and they're 1, 2 animal skull. They're in a line. So it's a small animal skull with 2 sticks shoved in the ground behind the skulls. I have found 2 sets of those out there.
Huh.
I don't know what that is. I wish I had a shovel. I wish I would have thought about it, and I wish I would have dug it up because I really wanted to see if the body of the animal was there or not.
Yeah.
But I didn't, because maybe, is it a memorial thing? Did something bury it that way? That's really weird to have 2 sticks and along with an animal skull, like a raccoon or a possum skull.
That's totally different. That is totally different.
Yeah, that was another strange thing I have found out there. But there's been sightings there of a Bigfoot crossing the road right there at that swamp, where that swamp is. So the last print that I found, it was near the road. It was like a service road. And so we're walking the service road again, it's shore sand like, and I find a print, but the print is perpendicular to the trail, the road. Okay. And I'm like, okay, one print, it was perfect. You can see the toes, very shallow, extremely shallow, but it was there. And I'm like, okay, where was it going? So I got behind the print to see what direction, where it was headed, and exactly across the road are 2 dumpsters.
Oh.
So he was headed for see if there's any food over there.
Yep.
That's exactly
All
what it
right.
was.
Sparky asked this too. Have you found any footprints or heard any Bigfoot noises near those structures you have found?
Noises. I mean, we'll hear like some, knocks, what sound like knocks every once in a while. But yeah, well, we found those three prints in that same area, not exactly where those structures were, because those structures have probably been out for a while. It probably got rained on. So if there was a print, and it's mud, right? So it's, so no, but in that swampy area, yes, we have found prints, not where the squares were. So I asked somebody, Thomas Seward, you know him, Sasquatch Island.
Yep.
I asked him about the square structure because that one, I have not heard anyone who has seen anything like that. I said,
no.
What do you think this could possibly be? Why would they make this? And he looked at the pictures and he was like, he goes, maybe that's a sign of the clan, a sign of the tribe, kind of like a crest. Maybe
that could be.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like a marker. I mean, it's just a square around these 2 trees. So it doesn't. It's not what I would consider a marker, but I don't know what it represents. Why is it there? And
none of us really knows what any of these structures are.
Right.
And there's this young guy that came to our camp out and said he's doing a study on structures and he's figuring out what they mean.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like any uneducated researcher, X's mean stop. Don't go
Right.
that way.
Right. Right.
Are you so sure?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I tend to think the X's that you find
Yeah.
are probably keep away, keep out. That's just,
That's our thinking.
yeah, that's our thinking because that's what we use it for.
Or it means come this way. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know
Seriously.
what it
Seriously.
means for them.
Yeah.
We know what it means for us.
Yes.
But a square, I don't know. That
No.
just really,
That totally blows my mind because
that blows
you're
my
the
mind.
first one I ever heard said that,
Mhm. Yeah,
that type of square.
yeah. I can send you the pictures if you want. I'll
Oh,
show you
yeah. I'd love to see them.
Yeah, it's
really
crazy. And you could tell they're different sticks. It's a
Right.
different, but it's the exact same design.
Yeah.
Exacting same design.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah. Now, we've got all kind of structures around here. TPs, X's, horizons, they can say. The horizons, they're easily debunked. A lot of them. The arches there, boom. Does it look like it's been pinned? Yeah, by a fallen tree.
Yeah, I found well, Ruby found it actually. It was a big arch in the green swamp. And the thing was, yeah, it it was taken down by a fallen tree. It was pinned down, but the original tree is like 20 feet away with other trees in between. So it's not like that tree fell and affected that tree. It would have affected the other trees and it didn't.
Yes.
So it was definitely over there, pulled it down, drug it over, and pinned it down under the trees because it didn't, there were trees in between.
Right. Like the one area I was researching had a pine grove area there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I went through there. There was nothing there. I'm in there for a couple hours. I come back out same way in through the pine grove. It's the way I came out. There's a 15 to 20 foot long maple branch laying in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking around like, how did it get
No way to
there?
make this- yeah.
There was no wind, no storm. How
Right.
the hell did it get there?
Oh yeah, we've had that.
And it's like, whoa,
Yeah.
So, stuff like that really gets you going. And
Yeah. So in our active research area, Chris at the time found it was a palm tree, big palmetto palm tree,
Yeah.
and something went in the swamp a ways, found some tree branches like red maple, and drug them and assembled them right where the palmetto palm was, right up against it. So it made like a blind kind of thing. But yeah, those are red maples that there weren't any. Their cypress trees were in this area and palm trees. Where did it get red maple from?
Yeah.
It was way deeper in the swamp is where it found that. And so it just carried the branches, I guess, and arranged them.
But why would they do that? That's the things I'd like to know, And like
That area,
right.
you got cypress trees and you got swamp. There's no like brush, anything you can really hide behind. So to me, it made some kind of like a shelter, a blind kind of thing that it could hide in because there's a lot of deer and hogs in that area. So you're not going to hide behind a cypress tree that's this wide, You need something bigger. So whether you're hiding in a root ball, a fallen tree kind of thing, or you're lucky enough to find a grandfather oak out there that's gigantic. But no, most of the time, these are cypress trees that are only like this wide.
Yep.
So that's what it seemed like. It drug branches, leaned them up, arranged them at a palm tree. So, and you could, if you're wearing like camouflage and you get in there, nobody's going to see you. Nobody's going to see you.
That's cool.
It's
That
pretty
is cool.
thick. Pretty thick.
And
And
I
then
believe a lot
later
of the
on, it
teepees.
took it all apart.
Yeah.
Later on, it took it all apart.
Yeah.
hmm
Oh yeah. Probably
And
moved
this
it
is not a
somewhere else.
hunting. This is a no hunting area.
Yeah.
So
Here in Pennsylvania, you can't use a natural man-made type structure for a blind.
why?
You got to use store-bought.
What?
I don't know that. Yeah, a store-bought blind.
Technical rules, silly
So-
rules.
But so if you see a teepee structure, did actual hunter make that, or is that something else?
Absolutely.
And so, even though they're not allowed to use the natural type deal, and I don't know the rulings for that, why they came up with it, but in a way, it helps us on our research.
Sure.
You know, so,
Sure.
but it's still, I don't know. We found that one nest right up in Indiana County, PA, right near a road. That nest was, and it looked like they had that nest there for a reason, like they can keep an eye out on the highway and,
Right. Yep.
and see the 360 degrees
Right.
is neat.
Yes.
When a buddy of mine found it, Mike, he found it and called me over to it, and it was unbelievable. Someone tried to say that, that was a hunter that made that. Not with those trees in there. And some of these trees were 3 foot around.
You're right. Yeah.
No.
There's no way.
No.
A hunter's not dragging around giant trees.
Yeah.
You know, down in the Everglades a few years ago, I was out there and I found what looked like, because the Everglades is wet, right? It's all wet. So where is an animal going to sleep? So they either have to find a patch of something dry, dry area like a hammock or something, or they have to go in the trees. Yep. So I found what looks like a hammock made out of vines in a tree. It was about 10 feet long and about 8 feet wide. It was made with thousands of vines.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, those vines are tough. One vine will trip you and will not break. So this was made with thousands, and it looked exactly like a hammock. I was like, oh my God. It was over the water.
Yes.
Just off the trail, over the water. So it's the perfect place for something to go down the dry trail, step in the water, climb up in the tree, and get into this hammock nest thing, And whether it's a skunk ape, it could be a Florida panther, we don't know, but it's big.
Florida panther wouldn't be building a hammock.
No. But it looks like a freaking hammock, and it was an amazing find. And I've also heard gibberish out there at the same time. Also, I heard gibberish off in the distance. That like two of them, like speaking Mandarin or something. Yeah. Not owls, not barred owls. I know what those sound like. This was like a conversation going on. And in the Everglades, there's not that many people living out there. There are, but I was like, what the heck is this? So it was cool to hear the gibberish and to find that mimic nest thing up in the trees. So
find this in the files. Because that just adds to the mystery.
Yeah, they don't have grass to build a nest in. They don't have these things, so they in the Everglades, you got to go up
Yeah.
to stay dry, you know. So
Not just to stay dry, but to be safe from gators and whatever.
oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
pythons and gators
Yeah.
and all kinds of snakes and all kinds of lovely
Yeah.
stuff. That everything out there is to kill you. Everything in the Everglades is out to kill you.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
And that's, the Everglades is in the overabundance of pythons.
pythons and moccasins and
Yeah.
rattlesnakes. There's all kinds of pythons are the biggest issue down there, and it's just tragic. These pythons are like 18 feet long, 20 feet long. Some of them, these people catch them. They got these giant bellies on them. They open up those pythons. There's a full-size deer.
Yeah.
Inside these pythons. They're just eating up everything,
Yeah, and that's why the state of Florida actually got hunters for that.
Yeah, they do. They still do.
Yeah.
They do that every night.
Yeah.
And I know some of them. So we saw python hunters while we were out there, driving the roads for skunk ape stuff. We were looking for pythons too. Not that we would know what to do, but there were truly python hunters going. You could see them. They're passing us. They're going down the road. They got their lights. They're looking for the python. They do that every night, every single night. So.
And I can understand them, not me.
But they get money. They get paid for it.
Yeah, but not me.
But that's hard. That's hard work because sometimes, you're not going to get anything if it's too hot.
Yeah.
There's less of them, because they're cold-blooded, right? So, when it's 105 degrees, they don't need to be laying on the road to heat up. In the wintertime, they do.
And the thing is, too, you're getting a 20-footer, you're going to need
Yes.
very agile.
Yes.
Very agile.
You need backup to handle something this size, for sure. So there's always usually 2 or 3 python hunters going out together.
Yes.
So
I'd take 3 to 4. Yes.
What was really interesting, though, and this just happened this weekend, I was talking to one of the python hunters. He's a friend of mine. I didn't know that much about him, so, he knew me right away. And so he started talking about skunk apes. And he has been keeping track of skunk ape sightings. Things that he's seen, things that other people have seen, footprints that he has found. He has this whole journal of at least 35 items that he has.
Wow.
He's keeping his own he's just keeping track of all this stuff while he's out there, because he's out there almost every night, right?
Yeah.
So he's finding footprints. He's finding things. He's seeing things.
That's awesome.
Or other python hunters are seeing things. So, yeah, I was like, oh, my God, I want to see that list. He's like, I'm not going to show it to you. I'm like, come on.
Oh, come on.
I said, you guys send it to me. He's like, nope, I'm not sending it to you. And I'm like, oh, you're killing me.
Well, just photocopy some pages of it.
Yeah, I know. Just let me look at it.
Yeah, really.
But I was impressed. I was really impressed that he was doing that.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because they hear different things out there.
Oh, yeah. They're out all night, you know?
And I can believe that easily. Hi, Johnny. Hi, Bill. Just noticed a couple guys said hi. But the thing is that these guys are out all night long.
Yep.
they have to find different things. Like you
Oh,
said,
yeah.
he's recording footprints.
Mm-hmm.
It-
Mm-hmm.
maybe the howl, whatever.
Yeah. Whatever he experiences or his friends have experienced, he's keeping track of everything.
Yes,
Which is
and it's nice that they
good.
do that.
Yeah.
And it'd be nicer if we shared.
It would. Maybe I can convince him, but we were just laughing about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, send it to me. He's like, I'm not sending it to you. I'm like, because he knows I'm gonna like post it. That's the thing, he
Yeah.
doesn't want people to know that. He just
Right.
told me that because he knows who I am and what I do. So, we're good.
Yeah. And like when people 2 weekends ago, I got 24 reports from down
Holy
around Derry,
wow.
PA.
Wow.
They went back 10 years to recent, at the event I was at. And a couple of people I knew from when I used to live down around the Chestnut Ridge. And they came up and started telling me, really? In your backyard? Up on Cemetery Hill? Yes. Okay. And he says, yeah, that was like in 96. I was living down there then.
Oh, if only.
My brother saw it too.
And that was the thing about going to Washington. We were invited to speak at the Medellin Falls Bigfoot Festival in Washington, which was a huge treat for us to actually go to the Pacific Northwest instead of swamps, right? Yep. And so it was just really interesting being in Washington because every single person we met, oh yeah, I've seen 3. Oh yeah, my mom saw one yesterday. My brother saw 2. Everyone that we met has had a Sasquatch experience. Every one of them have seen.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. It's like, wow, this is fantastic. And these people are talking about it. They just come up to us and they just start, ooh, I saw 3. I saw 2.
That happened to me. That happened to me 2 weeks ago. This last weekend, I asked him during my presentation, how many had any experience with a Bigfoot? A single person raised their hand, blinked. It's like, really? Jeez. But they all loved my presentation. They all wanted to learn more.
Right. Good.
But not a single one. But the weekend before, which got me all pumped up for this weekend, and nothing. It's like, whoa, man, what a letdown.
I know. It's when you least expect it, right?
Yeah. Bill Appel, he has the Bigfoot outpost and on the Chestnut Ridge.
Right.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Well, so how big of a gator can those pythons eat?
Well, if it can eat a deer, I mean, I don't know. I suppose that pythons will eat gators, but that's not something you typically hear about. You see, I think they usually go for the young ones, like small 3-footers or less.
Yeah.
Like baby ones.
I would say.
Yeah.
I would say. Mm-hmm. Plus, the gator's skin's so tough.
Yes, exactly.
So they might avoid them.
And they don't want the battle. They probably don't want the battle. That if you have a 5, 6, 7, 8 footer, gator, that's most likely the gator's going to win.
Yeah.
It's going to win that battle. All it takes is one bite. And but so I'm assuming that they would be small gators. They would be small, like 3 feet or less. Something that they could easily swallow without too many problems. Issues with.
As long as Mama's not around.
Right. Mhm.
But yeah, anyhow, it's almost 8:30.
Time flies.
Damn, Mom, you had me on the edge of my seat.
Talking about Florida and the weirdness here and how difficult it really is difficult here. It's so the swamps are so thick and gnarly. You cannot get to these places. So yeah, they could very easily be behind some bushes, maybe a half a mile, and you would never ever be able to find them because you could never physically get back there. Never.
Okay. I have a very important question. It is
Yes.
about a fellow researcher
Okay.
that came down there last year.
Okay.
How come you didn't feed Mike Bellman to the Gators?
He's the one that we met at Jennings.
Yeah.
With Mike Pham a lot.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Great guy. Love him.
Mike's a good guy. He is.
Yeah. Whenever he used to live in Florida. He used to
Yeah.
live in Florida and then he moved to New Jersey.
Back
And
up to Jersey. Yep.
Whenever he always comes down in the wintertime,
Yeah.
Florida is always one of his stops. And when he does, we always meet up with him. Like in January, I think we're meeting him. We're probably going to meet him in the Everglades.
Yeah.
So.
He's going to be at my event in March.
Good. He's a great guy.
Yeah. Man, he's at my first event I put on a couple of years ago and spoke. No matter where I see him, we get along great. Of course, I always agitate him too.
Well, so do we. We're always agitating, making fun of each other.
He has that face you got to agitate.
Oh yeah, he's just got this sweet, innocent, face, and he's such a wonderful guy. He's a lot of fun. So
he is, and
he's a joy. He's a joy to be around and to camp with, and we just absolutely love it. We love when he comes down and spends time with us.
But I knew that caught you off guard when I said,
"Yeah, who the heck is he talking about?" Like, okay.
Yeah. But we're going to wrap this up now.
Okay.
I got to hitch up this is my new office.
Oh, okay.
And I put the heater in, but I didn't hitch up the gas to it yet. In Pennsylvania, it's getting cold.
Oh, that's right. You got a shed, right? You
Mm-hmm.
you put your thing in a shed, right?
Yep. Yeah. They threw me out of the house with the office. They said they needed a toy room and more storage for the kids and stuff.
Now you got your man cave, your Bigfoot cave. You're good. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I did have a 12 by 28 cabinet that I moved out of because I actually only had a 12 by 16 area. This is 12 by 20, and I gained 4 more feet. So it's like I'm in a castle. And people don't understand that because it has that porch that took 4 feet from the very front, and then plus it wrapped around. So you lost another 6 feet, 8 feet there, and you have a little room, might as well say, on the front end of that cabinet that really you couldn't do nothing with. It's only 4 foot wide. Yeah, so I didn't. It was nice to get, but it didn't do the job. So now I got this one, but I got to hitch up the gas to the heater. I got a wall mount heater, and it's getting cold in here.
Jeez, it was only 100 degrees here today.
I'm jealous.
I don't know. I think I'm jealous of you right now.
It's
That's
probably in,
terrific.
probably in the mid 60s, but it feels colder.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to cool down until like January.
Yeah,
So
that's when you'll cool down too.
so
Unless we get the bad winter up here, and then you guys get cold sooner.
right, exactly.
Yeah. But Marie, it's been awesome.
No, thank you, Bill. It's been great. Thank you
Thank
for
you
having
so
me on
much.
your show.
No, thank you for coming on. Like I said, I've been excited about it. I couldn't wait for it. And you're an awesome person, awesome researcher.
Thank you.
And folks, follow her. I'm telling you, she's out there every weekend.
Yes.
And
The name
she's
of
not
my-
out. If she's not out there, they better send a search party for her. 'Cause something happened.
Exactly. The name of my group is Mid-Florida Bigfoot Research Group. So feel free to join. It's mostly about Florida, but I have probably 60% of my members are Floridians, which is encouraging for us.
Yep.
Since nobody likes to talk about it. But we also have people from all over Washington, California, whatever. Anybody can share what they want, but it's a good place to. I run a very tight ship. No trolls. Everybody has to behave. And if not, they're blocked. They're out of there. They're banned forever. So if you want to see the stuff we do every weekend, feel free to join. So.
Yeah, and believe me, she's always posted.
And I have a YouTube channel by the same name, Instagram, and I have a website, midfloridabigfoot.com. There you can go to the research gallery and you see all the cool photos of things that we have seen out there.
That's awesome. And if you guys haven't joined or subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. And subscribe to Marie's. Believe me, you'll enjoy it.
Thank you.
But thank you, everybody, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Thank you for tuning in to the Agents of the Unexplained. Please visit our website at agentsoftheunexplained.net for unique paranormal merchandise like t-shirts, books, and coffee mugs. Join our Facebook group and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more thrilling content. Until next time, keep questioning the unexplainable.